My name is Andrew Fay, as you guys probably already know. I work for the Walking Conservation District. I've worked there for a long time, and I'm the. This isn't. My modesty wants me to say I'm one of the people that people call about GIS, but I am the GIS person everyone calls in the state. Got a few. What?
You also work for Snohomish.
Yes, I do. I work 10 hours, quarter time for Snohomish too. I should say that, shouldn't I? So yeah, Whatcom farms me out to Snohomish for 10 hours a week. Mostly I've been doing security cameras. But I'm here to give you a kind of a rundown. Just say you are a GIS guru. Very funny. Yes, I'm the GIS guru. There you go. I'm here to give you an update about what's new in GIS, ArcGIS, and all that kind of stuff. It hasn't really changed much in the last few years. So if you've heard me talk like last year, the year before, it's the same thing mostly. But I can turn it into a full-on Q&A session instead, because there's only 3 of you. Do you guys want to know what products are out there to be used through Esri products, or have you already seen all that?
I think I've seen it. I went to something similar to this. It would have been, I think, in 2018.
Okay. Well, let's run through it real quick.
It would be nice to see for use on a daily basis, kind of what some, I don't know, are there any fantastic new that I'm not aware of that?
We've been using Pro and Collector, and then fighting with a lot of the annoying things that they choose to do with the website. But
so
I think
you're using Pro.
Yeah.
And you said Collector. You're not using Fields yet.
No, I noticed that came up on the website and I didn't know what it was. But
Okay.
we haven't had time to like sit down and figure it out.
Collector is the old version. Fields
Okay.
is the new version. It incorporates Collector, Esri Maps, and there was another one into one application. So it has more features in it. You didn't have to go to multiple to get what you need done. You can just go to Fields. I guess it's been about 3 years it came out. One of our issues is we use iPads out in the field, and a lot of our iPads are now old because we bought them 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It won't run on the old iPads.
You can run them on your phone.
Yes, you can run them on your phones. The newer iPads, it runs great.
Yeah.
When we do run Fields now, we'll run it on our phones mostly, when we do need to run it.
Is there a difference in the way you would set up a map to be ready to use in Fields versus Collector?
Yeah, there's a lot of and Touch GIS. Yes, Touch GIS. Okay, we'll get to Touch GIS in a second. When you're setting up something for synchronizing it to an app, any of the apps, you need to set up a map that all the data sets that you're going to synchronize are available to synchronize. So if you have something like Esri Soils, you can't synchronize Esri Soils. But if you own all that data, you can synchronize it, but you got to make sure everything is turned on for synchronization. And there's a setting, I'll probably get to it, that it says available for synchronization or something like that.
Yeah.
And you got to turn that on. But then you also have to turn on editing if you want to edit that feature. And everything in that map, including the map, needs to have all that turned on. So some people will come to me and say, I can't get this map to show up. And it's like, I go through every single layer, see if that's turned on. And usually it's something like they forgot to turn it on their map.
Yeah,
And not just the layer.
we just did that like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
All the layers were on, but the map wasn't.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, and it's crazy to me. It's been out for 8 years now. And there's still not, hey, we see you want to synchronize this thing. Do you want to synchronize everything in this map? Like it's just a little dialogue that says that. So I'll show you the settings for that in a second. So this is what we're going to go through pretty quickly. ArcMap. Everyone knows what ArcMap is, so I don't have to tell you. Version 10.8.1, as far as I know, is the last version that's ever going to be made. It might be 10.8.2 at some point because of a bug or something that they do, but they don't have any plans to actually update it because it's old tech kind of thing. And the reason it's old tech, ArcMap was created, do I have that on here? Yeah. ArcMap was created based on one processor. Your phones have multiple processors. So because it's based on one processor, it can't do a lot of things really efficiently. It can't, do geoprocessing over here and mapping over there, doing geoprocessing in the background, doing something else. Whereas ArcGIS Pro can do that. So they're fully going away. They don't even mention ArcMap at Esri user conferences, and they're told, the staff is told not to do that. You guys can see that, okay. So it's one of those, you have to eventually go over to Pro if you can. Some people just don't want to do it, don't want to learn something, but it needs to be eventually done and not done, oh God, I need to learn this. Or if someone sends you a map that cannot be opened in ArcMap, oh, I have to learn this. And there is plenty of training online through the Esri campus, the Esri catalog, my Esri, that if you have an ArcGIS Online user account through us, I've given you access to my Esri. Hopefully, if not, let me know. It's just a checkbox that I put in there, and you can take all the training that you want. And that training is part of a lot of it is part of our maintenance plan. So you can turn on maintenance plan and get all of that stuff for free, hours and hours of stuff. That and their YouTube is your friend. Oh, where's this? YouTube and Google, where's this? Because if you know ArcMap, you know it's there somewhere in ArcGIS Pro. Even I have trouble sometimes finding something that I've only used once or twice, and I have to go YouTube it or Google it or something like that. Okay, someone's asking, is there any reason to put ArcMap on it? I've gone to ArcGIS Pro. Is there any reason to have it for next few years? Yes, just to have it on your computer, you can run both at the same time. I would put it on there, opening old project files, just to have it on there in case you need it. I still use both because some things I can't do in Pro, connecting to Microsoft databases, which is the old personal geo databases. It doesn't do it as well in Pro because they didn't pay for the license to be able to do that. There are ways around that, but in ArcMap, I run a bunch of processes for our water quality data, and it's a script, it runs, it puts everything up online. And so that's the biggest reason I use ArcMap. And every once in a while, I'll open an old project to see what's there, kind of thing. Field maps and and Touch GIS, who is it? Ashley asked, Touch GIS is for our iPads. It is a application built specifically for the iPad. So it runs really well on the iPad. It is not an Esri product. The regular subscription, I think, is $300 a year. We can get it half off with a coupon code because we're conservation districts. And if you use it, it is worth it. If you don't use it, it is not worth it, kind of thing. But going out in the field and taking that and being able to control all that, it does a better job than Fields does. But then our wetlands biologist takes it out, maps all our stuff, exports a KML, saves that KML into the project folder, and you can open it in Google Earth or import it into ArcMap or ArcGIS. So it's very powerful for what it is. And if you're going out in the field for a long period of time and you want to do multiple projects here and there, everywhere, but they're single projects. They're not, you don't integrate them together. And you have an iPad, the Touch GIS is a great thing. But if you're integrating it all into one data set and you want to do a study throughout the entire county, I would say use Fields instead. And then you can synchronize different parts of the county at different times and go out, collect them, come back, sync, and it syncs to the cloud. Two different ways of doing somewhat the same thing, but different scales of it. But it is out there to use. Touch GIS used to be GIS Pro, and they changed the name for obvious reasons. Because everyone's getting confused between them. I'm having to pay attention to chats at the same time because it's not updated. Okay, so GIS Pro, most of you have seen it. It's a replacement for ArcMap. Version 2.9, I believe, is the latest. And the greatest thing they did was oh, we have a new update. You want to download it? That's great. Instead of the ArcMap way of, we used to have to, up until 10.7, I think, we would have to uninstall it and then install the new version. At least they fixed that, and it still takes a long time. And this one uses 64-bit instead of 32-bit, so it's faster, does more multi-processing, and it also integrates with AGOL. It's amazing for editing stuff on AGOL. So you can directly bring it in. You can bring in a map and it looks almost the same as online. Ribbon menus, multiple layouts. When ArcView went away with multiple layouts, everyone complained that ArcMap didn't have multiple layouts. And for the entire time ArcMap was out, Esri was saying, oh, we're working on that. We're working on that. And they never brought it back to ArcMap because ArcView had it. It was great. And it just never showed up in ArcMap. It showed up in ArcGIS Pro. They probably said they were working on it because they were working on Pro. Of course, it does need an AGOL account. If you don't have an AGOL account, let me know. I can get you one, and your district will pay for it in, it's probably going to be January, February next year. If you want to know more about the payment plans and all that kind of stuff, I can do that, but it's a long conversation. ArcGIS Online. Not much has changed on ArcGIS Online, but it is still out there, and we've got 210 members at this point for our organization. You can share maps with the public. You can share the security feature of groups is how you say, okay, this conservation district can see this stuff. This group can see that stuff. That's their security groups. That's how they set it up for security and sharing and all that. This is older, new map viewer. It's been out for about 3 years now versus the old map viewer. It's much better. It has more features, but it takes a little getting used to, just like anything else in GIS. The web app builder, you can build an app in about 5 minutes. You take a map, you create something that can come up on any browser or mobile device, and it integrates really well. You can add, they call them widgets. It's great, and you can do it with the templates in like 5 minutes, and you can have something out there and ready to go, and then slowly do other stuff with it. Same with the experience builder. It's more in depth. It's kind of replacing web app, but it's more of you have a curated experience for an app instead of just building an app that's there. You have more control over it. Like we were talking about, field data collection, field maps. Ooh, yeah. Contact me if you need an account. Field maps. Collecting data in the field combines collector track. Oh, that was the other one, tracker and explorer. So that's already retired. Those are retired. You can still use them, but they're not doing any more updates to them. Much better than a collector, as long as you can run it. Yeah, it's got a lot better organization than collector did. I hated the way you had to, in collector, add points and polygons, add stuff. It was just a clunky way of doing everything. Fields is better. Is it perfect? No, but it is better. Yeah, it's smart forms. What that means is you can create dynamic questions. So if I answer yes to a question, this question pops up later on. Or if I answer no, another question pops up. Yeah, iOS 15 plus. How many of you used Survey 123? Anyone?
I mean, we tried, but we didn't really find a good use for it.
So you can view Survey 123 as SurveyMonkey with a geolocation. So you can now, it used to be just points, but now you can create polygons and lines in a survey. So you can create a survey, they can go into the map and create a line, a polygon, and finish the survey. It comes in handy. I think we have a couple of surveys out there for wildlife viewing. Hey, did you see a wildlife out here? Kind of thing. We also have one for stormwater, stormwater in Birch Bay. So if someone sees like a whole bunch of trash in a creek, they can say, hey, this is over here and it's in this location. And it comes to us and the county, I can't remember, the flood division, so they can send someone out there to clean it up. Field data collection. Yep, I said all this. With Survey 123, you can build a lot of stuff online with Survey, and it's getting more and more. You can build it mostly online, but if you really want to get nitty gritty with your stuff, you need to use Survey 123 Connect, which is an app on your desktop or your laptop or whatever. That literally uses Excel. It's built off of Excel. So you download that survey you created online, you open the Excel document, change what you need to, and then export that thing back up to the cloud, and it shuts it down. The Survey 123 shuts it down from being able to edit in that cloud at that point, but it adds much more functionality, like the dynamic questions and that kind of stuff. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it's much more powerful. So if you're saying, oh, I can't do this, you might be able to use Survey 123 Connect to do that. Okay. Chat. Yep. Okay, story maps. Any of you guys got story maps up?
Not published.
No, probably played with.
It's in progress and put on the bottom of the list.
Yep. People think, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a story map, and then they realize how much time goes into making a story map. Like it's sort of like making a website. It takes a lot of time to do a story map. You can create a story map really easily. Making it good takes a long time. Like I could learn to weld in about 5 minutes. Doesn't mean I'm a professional welder. It's one of those things, but you can do a lot of stuff with story maps. There's a lot of different templates out there, and you can just do story map examples. There's a lot of them out there at this point. My favorite is one of the first one Esri made is Glen Canyon, right here. It's some people back in the 70s took a rubber raft down Glen Canyon and took lots of pictures and took pictures of stone fireplaces and from all the Native Americans that lived there for thousands of years, right? Well, like 2 years later, the water started going up because of a dam and it's all underwater now. But they have locations for every single picture. And you can see those pictures and you can see which ones are underwater. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun just to go through it, see what's underwater. And they're still there. Like the wagon is probably even still there. That was originally there because it doesn't flow very fast. Yep. There's a couple of examples there. Dashboards. I haven't seen any district do a dashboard yet. This is kind of, who went to the starting of COVID, there was a dashboard that someone set up and it was lots of maps and where in the world and in the States, all the COVID cases were popping up. And it was like lots of stuff and it went viral on almost all the news agencies. I think it was George Mason or something like that. And that was just an Esri. I was like, hey, I know what that is. And it's just, it takes all that data and puts it into a very nice way of looking at stuff. Oh, there it is. COVID. I can't even read that. COVID dashboard. And it's just a screenshot. And that's what a dashboard can do. And it can do a whole bunch of things. It's just different ways of organizing the data that is coming in. We don't do that kind of stuff. So districts haven't really used that much. I think if I helped out with a wildfire, they use that kind of stuff quite a bit. Real-time data coming in. Experience Builder brings together maps, story maps, and dashboards. And it's still pretty easy to build. I built one in like 20 minutes. Didn't really use it too much because I built it for this class kind of thing. Drone to maps and site scan. It's for using drones out in the field. I haven't used site scan, but I have used drone to map a few times as a trial version. If you do want to use it, $1,400 for a subscription. You could share it between districts if you wanted to, because you get a license and we can move that license around to whoever needs it. Yep. End-to-end cloud-based drone mapping software. So it sounds like it's going to take over from drone to map at some point. Insights. Let's see. I've had one person try Insights, and I tried Insights with our water quality data, and my water quality data was too much for it, with like 50,000 points in it. But that was like a year into it coming out. It's been like 3 or 4 years now. It's an analytics workbench, as they call it. And it is incredibly powerful way of analyzing all your data, and you set it up and you can create all this analytical information coming out on very large data sets, as long as they're set up correctly. Yeah. Living Atlas, a lot of people don't know this is out there. This is kind of what people, what companies, what agencies post their data to, so everyone in the world can see it. Stuff like the USA soil coverage, you got soil coverage for the entire US farmland classes of soil, hydric soil classes, and it's already built for you. So you don't have to build it yourself. It has aerial photos. There's wildfire hazard stuff. And you can search for a whole bunch of stuff. There's weather stuff up there. So being able to go into the Living Atlas, you can search it from Pro if you want. You just go to a portal or online and search, and you can get all this information that people have put up there saying, hey, we have this data, here it is. And a lot of people don't do that. They go try to find it. I go to Living Atlas now or Esri Online and do a search and find it. I usually go to Esri Online and do a search, find their service for their server, and then take that server, bring it into ArcGIS Pro or ArcMap and look at all the services they have. Instead of going one by one, it's like, what do they have? I can see it all. And they symbolize it all for you and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you just bring it into your maps. It's very, very handy for that kind of stuff. We have a chat. We have a few love story maps. We have a few. There we go. Ashley's got a few. Do we want to go here? Oh, there, Johns Hopkins. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah. Is it still running? Yes, yes, it is. So this is a dashboard. Now we minimize that. Okay. I talked a little bit about my Esri training. There is loads of tutorials in here. One of the biggest one is migrating to GIS Pro from ArcMap. I've set up, I think I shared it with someone already. I put everything in a lesson plan and shared it with someone because they're like, how do I do this? How do I learn ArcGIS Pro? And it's, if you want that, email me and I'll send you the link. And it's just a whole bunch of classes that you can take for free and you go through from wherever you're at. You don't have to do it. Some of them are 4 hours long. Some of them are half an hour long. Some of them are like 10, 15 minutes. Then there's the ones you have to pay for. Those can get rather expensive because they're long, week-long projects kind of thing. And they give you all the information to do it. Hey, go here, download this, and you can go through the exercises. There's also local colleges have classes as well if you want in-person kind of stuff. Well, there you go. I'm already done already. Half an hour. So usually I'm way at the end because I get more questions as we go along. Are there any questions? Nothing? Oh, come on.
I mean, do you know off the top of your head if the Living Atlas has the historical NAP stuff?
Yes, actually it does.
That, well,
The NAP,
really nice.
the NAP stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two ways. Yes, it does. But if you want it faster, you can go to the let's find it. What is it? I think it's NAP USDA download box.
Yeah,
It's not there anymore. There we go, right there.
I've
It's
downloaded that.
it's all in a box account. And I can send you the link if you want it. It's somewhere around here.
Yeah, I have all that.
Okay,
On our
so
server.
there's that, but if we go to cool, get out of my way. If I do 8 and come on, it default, it only searches your organization. You turn that off, and now we have 8 innate imagery. Now the conundrum here is this has all the data, but you have to figure out how to query it out.
Okay.
Which is just running a query, say, oh, I want 2022, 2000, 2000, or 2004, that kind of stuff. And it has it all in there. And it's just served up by Esri. So it runs pretty well, and it's all tiled. Woohoo. So yeah, it's all there. And we can zoom into us. And you can go in. I haven't done this in many years, and Erica, or of course it did. Can we filter? Tools, properties. There is a way of filtering it. It's been many years since I've tried, but you can filter it for different years, so you can create multiple layers of it. But it's out there to use. Yeah, I think a couple other things like the DNR actually serve up LiDAR as well. So you can get live LiDAR. Your counties might actually have the NATE, and our county has pictometry as well. Some of them will serve up a like, I think Whatcom, our county has bare earth and first return LiDAR, and it's just a DEM, a hillshade, and it works pretty well for just seeing that kind of stuff. You're not going to do any geoprocessing on it or anything. They've gone through soils. There's other satellite imagery that people serve up, especially some of the old stuff. Landsat is up there. I think there's even NDVI. I think that was up here. Because with the NATE stuff, it comes in multispectral, and then they take that NATE, and you have NDVI for the entire US. Any other questions? No? So what kind of projects do you guys use GIS for? Rough. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of desktop exercises. I think of how wide. Like, when we survey the field, we always has the tremble, and I don't know if it would be useful to the accuracies for the next one, how it can be transferable, or
you can be.
How a person might use it to have field maps.
Yep, you can do that. Either way, I know Ryan uses it mostly for like doing background photos and that kind of stuff for his CAD. But you can bring it back in, but it's like, okay, what are we going to use it if we bring it back in? Because he runs in CAD.
Right.
So it would be, he doesn't need to bring it over. Who else needs to see it? What do you guys have? I know what you have for setups for your GIS data. How do you guys set up your GIS data?
I've got it on shared drive, or on
Just a tower?
Yeah, just
Okay. Yeah. What about you guys?
It's mostly on their server.
Yep. On-premise server? Yeah. Okay. I'm waiting for someone to say, yeah, I'm running it from OneDrive or Google Drive. I'm like, really? How many problems you have? Which is what Snohomish did originally when they went up to G Drive, and then they called me up. It's like, why are we having problems with this? I'm like, where is it located? Oh, we put it up in a Google Drive. Take it down. But Mike said that would work. No, it won't.
So we've got some of it, all of our CRUB stuff is on OneDrive and it works just fine. But it has to be always available on the device.
Yep.
And that's all that's on there though, is just, it's just vector files. So it's
Yeah.
not very big.
It's if you have a shape files in there, and maybe it might work with file geodatabase, and nobody else goes into that while you're working in it, and it is
Yes,
it is
exactly.
always saved on that thing. It can work. The problem being is someone else gets into it and screws it up. It's gone.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. ArcMap doesn't know the difference. Plus, if he builds a project in there, and then you try to open that project will not open correctly, because all those red checkbox marks will show up, because Google Drive and OneDrive, most of them use stuff like, hey, this is the C drive, the profile of that person, and then all that stuff. Whereas if it was on a server on site, it would be the X drive. So it'd be X project files. But once you get into the synchronization of OneDrive or Google Drive, you have to add the C drive and all that kind of stuff. Yes, you can map those drives and it will work, but I've heard of those mappings going wrong, and you have to redo it, or the IT person has to redo it, and it causes issues. What I tell people is to have everything on an on-premise, and then if you need to do it remotely, remote desktop into an old computer. If you're offsite, we have like a bunch of our people have their old computers just sitting on their desk or under their desk or whatever, and they remote into that, do their GIS, export that PDF, always export a PDF of your map, and then they log off of that, and it works. If they're doing big projects, they're coming into the office and doing it, because we're mostly back in the office. Snohomish, everyone right at this point is not in the office, and everyone's, oh, that is a big woodpecker. Nice. All that data that Snohomish has created over the last 2 years is so spread out. It's like, how do you bring it all back together? Which is probably going to be my job, putting it all back together. Deanna uses, okay, let's go back up first. Ashley asks, if people need your help or want to pick your brain, could you talk about your preferred methods of communication? Phone call. Because people ask me these really long questions, and then it's like, how am I supposed to email that back to you? It's better you just call me. If you do ask that question and say, call me, make sure you add your phone number in there. A lot of people don't have their phone numbers in their signature lines. And it's like, you want me to go find your phone number and call you back? But yes, it's a pet peeve of mine, putting a phone number in a signature. But yeah, phone calls are fine. If it's quick, you can email me and I'll email you back. If you want to Teams me, you can Teams me. It's still my email address. It is my Teams username. Yeah, anything you want. You can even send a pigeon. I promise I won't shoot it. Deanna says, I use GIS for VSP monitoring. We back up our geodatabases to a shared drive. Backing it up is fine because you're not actually using it at the same time. Everyone has to download the geodatabases in order to use them. Then that's not a backup. That's you're using that and copying it. That's not a backup, but yeah. Did you just see a flicker in the flicker room? Is that what those are called? Flickers?
It was a pileated woodpecker.
pileated woodpecker,
Irrigated woodpecker.
right outside the door, not in the room.
Yeah, non-northern flicker. That's hilarious.
I've had a lot of districts that think they can go up to, let's just go up to the cloud. And the only way you're gonna do that is if you purchase an AGOL account or buy yourself a ArcGIS online server. And the server, expensive. ArcGIS online, not so expensive. Not a good place to store lots of files and everything like that. It's not, it's for working online. You're getting stuff, you're either taking it to fields or showing it off to other people. It's not a place that you can do it, but it's not a place for lots of people to store files left and right, because I can't get, if someone is working on something and building something, I can't see what they're doing until they share it with me. And a lot of people just forget to share. But if it's on an on-premise server, I can just see that. Boom, boom, boom. It's right there in that their project folder. It'll be there for 10 years or more, 20 in my case. But yeah, an on-premise GIS server is the best way to go. So if you ever get asked that question, until I can find a better way or a more cheaper way, I should say, especially if you're doing like one-off projects and stuff. Snohomish asked me to do a ArcGIS Pro project that is fully online, which we did accomplish. We took my farm plan layer and put it all up online in a file geodatabase. I guess I could show you to you actually. And it's a file geodatabase that everyone can see the information. So all the fields are in there, the buffers are in there, the swales are in there, all the miscellaneous polygons and lines and that kind of stuff. Just like my farm plan maps that I create, that is now up online for Snohomish. And what we did is instead of having that aerial photo and all that coming from the on-premise server, it is all coming from different locations around the world, essentially. This is a template file. I can open this template file someday, download. Now let's open it directly into ArcGIS Pro. Yep. And open. This will open from anywhere because all that base data, the aerial photo, the soils, the hydrology, the wetlands are all being taken from different areas online, from different corporations, companies, or whatever. Let's put it on my desktop. And where's my Snohomish? No, it's not. I'm gonna item folder test. And I'm gonna, yeah, of course you can't. And it's gonna put it in there. And because of all that data is online, they can open it from anywhere, build their projects, and when they build their projects, their fields, their buffers and everything, they're adding to everyone else's projects. It's all going into one data set that everyone can get to. That's, I mean, the only person that's tested this is Eric Shu at this point, and he loved it. So it's good. It's not as fast as an on-premise server, but it is really handy if you're working from home and you want all that data. And so far, Eric's, I think, used it twice, and he's liked it. And all the templates are there. My templates for the letter, the portrait, and farmsteads, and all that, all there. So all the symbology is already done for you, unless you put in a practice that I didn't know about. All the major practices are there, manure storage, heavy use areas, that kind of stuff. It's all there for you to create. As I said, it's not incredibly fast, but neither is going in with a VPN and doing this stuff. Still working on how to make this a little faster, but all of that data, all that base data is being downloaded from different areas. So that is another way of storing the data, but this is more like big project data. This is for my farm plans. This is not for every single project we do. Like, I'm not going to build a 3x8 map out of this, or 3x4 map out of this. Then, so let's turn off, like, all of these. You can see all of these data sets are up online. Let's turn off the aerial photos so it doesn't take forever. But yeah. And it refreshes. So all of that stuff is online. And I think two data sets are being stored on ArcGIS Online. And I could tell you where. Let's see. I think it's soils.
So now, because all of the conservation districts have access to our flow, everybody's set up.
Everybody that wants to be at this point, that doesn't mean they're all using it. No,
They can access that template that you made.
no, that's just for Snohomish.
Just-
Yeah,
so you can-
because
one can have it.
yeah, they could if they wanted to. It took me a long time to set this up. It's not a, oh, 20 minutes later set this up. I had to find all those data sets, make them work in here, and make the symbology work as well. Because some of them are touchy kind of thing. Can you talk about when you have domains and put it online and then bring it back to Pro correctly? So what she's talking about, Ashley, everyone know what a domain is? Okay, domain drop-down menu. So what comes in the drop-down menu? What she's asking is, if you created domains and you put it up online, if you created a file geodatabase and then you take it up online and then bringing it back down correctly, I believe it was her or someone else that brought it down as a shapefile. Well, shapefiles don't have domains. You have to bring it back down as a file geodatabase to get everything out of it. But here's the question: why do you need to bring it down? Because you can just go over here to the catalog, go up to the portal. This is my portal. I can go in and just drag and drop it in. I don't need to bring it down. Yes, you can bring it down, but if you do it, yeah, it was her. She was trying to put it into a shapefile, and there's no domains in there. So you got to create, when you put it up as a file geodatabase, bring it down as a file geodatabase, then those domains will stay. But you don't need to unless you're doing a backup copy or you're sending it to someone. In most cases, of course, there's use cases that you do need to bring it, like you're doing geoprocessing. You do not want to do it up on geoprocessing online. Always do it on your own computer or on a server or something like that, not online, because it costs us a ton of credits. I could have sworn I told you about that. But yeah, you don't need to bring it down, but you can bring it down and all the domains are there, and all the photos are there. So if you're in fields and you're taking photos with the points that you're getting, you can bring all the photos down, and those go into a separate folder, I believe. And it's a great way to do it. Any other questions? I'm gonna ask any more questions. I think that's it then. If you do have questions, you know where to find me. Not sitting at this table. I'm done for the day. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Stop share.
Right, I guess we're now